Hello everybody and welcome to Game 2. I am Just Delicious and this is Vague Raconteur.
Hello and welcome to the second game of MSC vs IMBA. Last game, IMBA had absolute last hit domination, and unfortunately, despite MSC playing beautifully, they were just out-farmed, and IMBA's play was perfect, absolutely. Despite a few little hiccups here and there with timing and initiation, they always managed to turn it around. Unfortunately, Joker has actually disconnected, and I'm not sure if he's going to be able to reconnect in time, although I'm sure, he doesn't have a bad PC, he'll be able to get back in time for this match, and if not, there's no big deal at all. We won't take more than a second to get it back to you and get you watching this next game in this best of three.
Yeah, we won't delay the stream any longer. We'll keep the stream up. We'll just very quickly remake and jump straight back into the game. So hopefully Joker will actually reconnect, but it doesn't look like he's going to be. But we will talk about that Brewmaster pick in the last game. That was a really bizarre pick, but it worked so well for IMBA. The first pick Brewmaster, MAC just didn't have any real knowledge of how to counter him.
Well, it's that unusual first pick. Whenever it's kind of done, whenever you see something that's a little bit weird in the first two picks, it always seems to put a team off of edge. And it's a very good way to... Oh, he did manage to actually connect in time, but it's a very strange way of doing it, because it makes the other team a bit suspicious of what to do next. And it makes them think outside the box. And unfortunately, often, that's not what you want to do. It's a strange pick because it's not known as one of the best, and you can actually still pick one of the best in a regular team and do fantastically against him. It was them trying to outsmart a little bit with picking Lone Druid that I think probably put them a little bit at a disadvantage.
Yeah, trying to pick a straight counter to him just didn't kind of work out for them. They managed to get that Lone Druid completely locked down in mid. And IMBA Battlenet are actually now this time going to go straight with the very usual Undying first ban choice, because he is absolutely a ridiculously strong support hero, and he didn't actually get picked up in the entire first picking stage last time, even though he wasn't banned. So maybe MAC just don't like playing him particularly, but Batrider is going to get banned out by MAC, so we're not going to be seeing a Batrider again. That makes perfect sense. But MAC have really got to be looking now to try and do something a little bit extra against IMBA Battlenet, because in that last game their picks weren't the strongest in the world, but that Lone Druid just got completely out-farmed in mid by the Brewmaster, and that really did set them back a lot.
Well, it was a really bad poor choice in mid. I think they were trying very hard to work out exactly what was happening, and I think they misjudged that there on their part. We're going to keep seeing some standard bans, but I think what we're going to see now from Milf and Cookies is probably a more standard team. I don't think if they see a big unusual pick from IMBA Battlenet, as they so often do, I don't think they're going to react to it as hard. I think they're going to try and stick to their guns if they've really learned what that can do to their team, and I think we're going to see some much more even play throughout more of the mid game, whereas it was so even in the early game for them.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. And Ezreal getting banned out again by IMBA Battlenet, so they really don't like that Keep of the Light, and there's Nyx Assassin, the fourth ban. So this lets Darkseer through the pool, and maybe IMBA Battlenet are actually just going to be picking up this Darkseer now, because we all know how strong Darkseer is as a first pick hero almost all the time. So they're actually going to go Magnus. Magnus got through the pool, and we are going to be seeing a Magnus for the first time in this tournament. This is going to be absolutely huge.
Well, he never gets through, and it's amazing we actually didn't just completely call that. But when you're seeing so many common picks, you don't expect to see a Magnus ever. So often just banned out. Now Milf and Cookies, despite what I was saying about them, they do need to still pick normally, but they might want to counter. If they do pick a counter, it might screw up the rest of their team. It's a really big problem. IMBA have done it again with this first pick, and it is something that is going to throw MAC a little bit. It's just about how well can MAC recover from seeing that first pick. How well are they going to counter it while still keeping and Darkseer as their first pick as again last time. It looks like they're just going for a straight team, which I hope they do.
Well, I will say that IMBA actually played the bans exceptionally well. You do see pro teams doing this quite often. They knew they had first pick, and they knew that there are three completely ridiculous mid heroes in the pool as the Batrider, the Nyx and Magnus. They knew that MAC couldn't ban them all, so they just relied on the good nature of MAC to only be able to ban 2 of them. They banned 2 supports and they picked up whatever one was left, and it just happened to be Magnus. Otherwise they would have been getting a Batrider or a Nyx Assassin, so MAC were really put into a corner. There was no real way that they could get out of giving IMBA Battlenet a ridiculous hero.
Indeed they did, and Milf and Cookies actually, it looks like they might have reacted to Imba's last game and now picked up Brewmaster for themselves. They're obviously fearful of Brewmaster, that's understanding, but Brewmaster is a main pick. He can't go mid, they mustn't put him mid, they mustn't try and do that. They have to try and put him as their main carry, and it may go very, very well. He's a very strong hero, but I'm hoping they didn't pick that just because Imba did last time.
Well, they might be picking it because against Magnus, he's not the worst in the world. He's okay. He can keep a little bit of harass on him. It depends on who can pick up the runes first. But Magnus is obviously a strong mid hero, and he can survive against ranged heroes really comfortably and get a lot of farm out of it. So Brewmaster may have a little bit of an uphill struggle, but it still won't be the worst lane for him. Klink's getting picked up by IMBA Battlenet, so that's really going to be a counter towards that Darkseer, and they're really going to want to get that Klinks on the same lane as the Darkseer, maybe try and out-psych MAC and really put them on the same lane, because Klinks, as we've seen, especially from IMBA Battlenet and RR, he just destroys Darkseers on that lane.
Indeed he does, and we've seen a Rubik again from... It's just such a great pick to see, because now, you know, he's got Darkseer to potentially steal from. He's still again got that Brewmaster up, because now it just looks like Imba and MAC are swapping around heroes, and it'd be interesting to see exactly what Imba do with him.
It will be interesting to see. Obviously, Rubik is an exceptionally strong support hero. Just basic. He has that amazing stun. He has an okay nuke, and his null field is obviously very, very strong for magic resistance for the entire team. He's very, very good against Darkseer. Darkseer relies on magic damage, and there's the Shadow Demon getting picked up from MAC. So they're really looking for that Shadow Demon and Brewmaster combo, as IMBA Battlenet did in the first game, and they're just going to be picking up any sort of heavy stun hero to try and go with that Shadow Demon and really put IMBA a lot of pressure from the start of the game.
Well, if Imba have any sense in them now, they would have banned... Oh, they didn't ban Leshrac as I thought they might have. I reckon if they haven't banned him, Milf and Cookies could potentially be picking up a Leshrac, and that would be a massive problem for Imba, considering if that split off lands. But Lena banned is a strange choice. If Lena was chosen, it wouldn't have been the end of the world. Obviously, with Soulcatcher, it does do a lot of damage, but... You know, Rubik with a no field could have possibly survived that, and they do ban the Leshrac.
Yeah, as I was going to say, they still have another 2 bans. They will probably ban out the Leshrac as well as the Lena, because they're the 2 best heroes that you can possibly put on a lane with a Shadow Demon to support, because they both have ridiculously long stuns, but that rely on that split second, that half a second to actually activate. The Shadow Demon just sets up perfectly and just lets you time to perfection. So... nice bans by Imba, just trying to cut off the support heroes, and Ezreal, Lena and Leshrac are probably the 3 best support heroes in the game right now, minus Jakiro, who I expect will be picked up by one of the teams, whoever actually manages to get him first. I expect Imba will probably be picking him up next if he's not banned, because just how strong Jakiro is in this version. But MAC are now got to look towards that tri-lane, because I assume they might be putting the Brewmaster in mid against this Magnus. Obviously, you can limit Magnus's farm with that really annoying Drunken Haze that he can just keep spamming on him, and there's no way Magnus is going to be able to get any last hits. He'll have an 80% miss rate. So, MAC are probably going to be looking towards that, but they still need their strong offlane. They still need their strong tri-lane heroes, and they've really got to be looking to pick up really good supports, but while limiting Imbas. That's the problem they have, because Imba haven't picked up half of their tri-lane supports either.
Well, they've now actually banned possibly against them Queen of Pain, which seems a bit strange pick. Queen of Pain almost always being mid. We know that Magnus is going to be mid, so that's a bit of a strange ban. But you'd expect Muffin Cookies, if they know that they're probably not going to get Jakiro first. Magnus being able to just run into an entire team and ulti to get them all together, plus a Jakiro ice pass straight through the middle, means he can just keep on cleaving. That is the worst combo you could ever want for MAC. So I'm quite surprised they didn't actually go for that. But, you know, Queen of Pain, they must have a reason. They wouldn't have just thrown that away. Can you think of any reason they'd do that, JD?
They're probably banning out the Queen of Pain because they're fearing that maybe if they run the Clinks as the heavy farmer with Rubik and a support hero, then the Queen of Pain can be very, very good with Magnus, being able to use her ulti and her scream into it, so that can do a lot of damage. But they have actually, one thing we have to point out is that Sven is still in the pool, and Sven and Magnus is obviously a ridiculously strong combo. If Magnus can catch 2 or 3 in his reverse polarity, Sven just finishes them off with his cleave in a few seconds, and I expect MAC to probably ban out Sven as his next ban. There's no reason why they shouldn't. He's probably the strongest carry left in the game, especially for IMBA's lineup. And the Chen gets banned out from IMBA, so they don't want all those jungle creeps being used against him. They can be exceptionally annoying. And the Hand of God really does work against the Magnus and Sven plan. So there's another reason that MAC should probably ban out this Sven, because Chen is obviously very good against Sven, being able to give everyone in an instant an extra 250 HP.
Well, I'm just hoping Milton could see that sense there and do actually ban the Sven, or it's going to be a very, very strong picking situation that MAC are going to have to come up with something incredible to try and counter that, because off the top of my head I can't think of anything that's going to be able to counter that Magnus and that Sven now that Chen is gone. So many ends, but you never know. They could come up with something genius, but they really should. They've got the reserve time, only 10 seconds left.
Yep.
And they did. They've got the sense. They banned the Sven. That's a big combo potentially gone from Imba. So it'll be interesting to see what do they go for now as their main carry.
Disruptor. They've gone straight for the Disruptor as the other support, and that makes a lot of sense because he is very, very good at it with Magnus. He can put up that wall after the reverse polarity is about to run out, and they just still can't move, and that silence on top of it. So he gives them an extra 3 or 4 second disable. Gyrocopter gets picked up as the carry by MAC, and we've seen Gyrocopter being played an awful lot as a carry recently, and he has a lot of carry potential. He can really snowball out of control if he gets a little bit of farm in the early game, and now Imba have really got to be looking towards their carry. Luna is still there. No, Luna is actually gone, sorry, so the Dragon Knight is still there if they want Dragon Knight, but they're going to go for Windrunner, so they're actually going to be running Clinks as their main carry in this game.
Now that is a fantastic thing that we have not very seen. Clinks has almost always been an offlane, so it will be really great to see Clinks as the main carry. He has the potential. It keeps him away from a Darkseer. Well, it will be Windrunner versus Darkseer, and it means that we're going to have Clinks versus a Gyrocopter, and Gyrocopter is, you know, he's not going to be bad against the Clinks. Clinks doesn't have much health. Invis actually manages to cancel the homing missile, I believe, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does completely cancel it if he manages to shadow walk skeleton walk while it's coming at him. But another thing I will say is that those flaming arrows are going to be doing a lot of damage to Gyrocopter if they manage to get the Clinks on the same lane as him, and they can really rip through supports at the beginning of the game. I mean, an extra 20 damage at level 1 is nothing to sniff at. That is a lot of damage, especially at the beginning when heroes only have 400 odd HP. So yeah, we'll have to see exactly how this runs, but it's really, really, really interesting to see that they're actually going to be running Clinks as a main carry. Maybe he won't actually go for Orchid in the end, and they're going to leave Orchid up for Windrunner to get, and Clinks is going to be going more for crits and damage. We'll have to see exactly how they decide to run it, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they do.
Well, and we also have for MAC, we have the great Shadow Demon Jakiro, and a Gyrocopter as a combo is going to be so strong. It just allows Gyro to absolutely guarantee a hit on homing missile, guarantee a hit on his ult, and the damage that comes out from that, especially amplified by Soul Catcher, means that Imba are going to have some trouble, especially with a very squishy main carry like Clinks.
Yeah, I will run through the Radiant team now, and then we'll switch over to Vague, who will be running through the Dire. So MAC, who will be playing the Radiant in this game. We have very super famous will be running the Chikiro. Oh my God, it is Byro will be on the Shadow Demon. We will have Marco on the Brewmaster. Luke will be playing the carry once again, the Gyrocopter, and Baby Steps will be on that Darkseer.
Meanwhile, Ara once again on Clinks. This time for the Dire Infamous as Rubik. We have Joker as Magnus, M&T as Windrunner, and Vendusa as Disruptor.
Vendusa, a very, very nice name. I like the emphasis we can put onto that name. It makes it much easier. Everybody should do that. Just for when we're cussing.
Kinetic field.
Exactly. If we see a perfect kinetic field or an amazing glimpse, then yeah, perhaps we'll be able to give his name some justice. We can see Babystep's
Indeed,
actually picking up the observer wards, so it looks like he's going to be going and warding that top lane. I don't think he actually bought them. I think he was giving them. No, he's actually bought them. So the two support heroes at bottom have just been able to get whatever the hell they want. Oh my God, it's Byro has picked up a lot of regen, and so's this Chikiro actually hasn't picked up that much regen, but they have enough regen between them to easily out harass the IMBA team if they decide to run this tri-lane on the long lane, which it looks like they are. Although, saying that, it looks like they are running Windrunner as their main carry and Clinks on the off lane. So Windrunner looks like might be their farmer. I'm not entirely sure what they're actually going to do about this, but Windrunner looks like it's going to be the farmer. Clinks is going to be on the off lane against this Darkseer because we know how good that is. And a shout out to very super famous's mum, to Lullaby's mum. He loves you. He wants you to know, and we like that. We like to see that. We like to see that.
It's all about love. It's all about love. It will be interesting though if Windrunner is going to be their main carry, which would be so unusual to see. Oh, we haven't seen a main carry Windrunner ever in this tournament, so
no.
But there is a first time for everything.
Yeah, there is. I've seen Windrunner's carry 1 or 2 times before. It's okay. She's not terrible at it. Obviously, you just don't level up her ulti, which is obviously not particularly strong. But you normally just get her some crits and get her some and you normally actually get her an Orchid because that gives her so much insane damage. So it's a little bit odd. It's a little bit odd, really. It's all a little bit odd, but we'll see. We'll see. We know that IMBA are good at doing this, at swapping it up and picking picks that you just weren't expecting and laning how you wouldn't expect and getting away with it and doing just incredibly well.
Nuh-uh.
Well, this time we have the fun of a tri-lane versus a tri-lane, so it's going to be tense, exactly as we wanted it to be, tri-lane versus tri-lane, with those combos that are so potentially... Yeah, Windrunner is going to be the carry here, and she already is doing enough harass as is. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to be picking up that much farm though, because Gyrocopter is just able to stand right next to them. His prods are instant for a ranged hero, so it's such a good advantage to use Gyrocopter as a carry. Practically guaranteed last hits every time.
Yeah, there's no way that they can get anywhere near him, and as you can see, there's just a little bit of a support battle going on in the trees to try and gain dominance of this ganking area, while the two carries just kind of battle it out on lane. But the amount of damage that Windrunner does at the beginning of the game is nothing to be laughed at. She does do quite a lot of damage at level 1 with absolutely no damage items whatsoever. She does have a very high base attack, so she can really use that to harass Gyrocopter if he gets too close to try and if he gets too close, she can really use that to harass him down.
She can indeed. Magnus has already taken a strong lead in mid at 5-0, but Brewmaster is actually keeping it back. However, Magnus is already going for the regeneration rune. He's already getting a little bit of rune control, and that's what you want to see, because whoever has that rune control over these two should potentially be the one that wins ultimately in this mid battle anyway.
Yeah, Brewmaster does have his bottle coming to him, and I don't think... oh, yeah, it seems that Joker already has his bottle, so Joker's really going to be spamming that Q now and trying to get this Brewmaster down as fast as possible. There is the Q spam there. Brewmaster now doesn't have any mana, but... yeah, there's just a lot of harass going on. It's really, really interesting to see how this tri-lane versus tri-lane is going to go on, because both teams are right up in each other's faces, but... all they're doing is trading blows. They're not really wasting any spells. Maybe one nuke here and there, but it's not enough to get any kills. But they might actually be catching Disruptor out. Really nice play by the Windrunner, though. Actually cuts him away out of the trees, and he's going to walk around the back. They're going to catch the Gyrocopter. The Ice Path comes over the top. Are they going to be able to get Disruptor? No, the Kinetic Field might keep him alive. The Windrunner will probably take out the Gyrocopter if they can manage to. He pops the salve, so he might get away. Is he? No, he does fall. First blood goes to Luke. Nice play by them, by MAC to get that first blood. It looked like really good play by the Windrunner. It actually managed to cut him away out of it, but it just didn't work in the end. And Luke now level 3, slightly ahead of everyone else on these lanes. Magnus just got the kill on the Brewmaster. We actually missed it because of what was happening down at bottom, but that's what IMBA need. I mean, they managed to get... They actually got slightly caught out at bottom, but then the Magnus just killing the Brewmaster in mid and really showing them this Magnus is going to have a really nice time against Brewmaster.
Oh, definitely. I mean, if everything goes well for IMBA, we're probably can expect to see Magnus just collecting them all up for Windrunner to do a huge power shot. Maybe she'll go for a Veil of Discord, but I don't see it most likely happening. Power shot was perfect there, but a great disruption on Very Super Famous by Oh My God, Spyro actually saved him. Not enough though. Windrunner manages to land it right back and hits the prods off. Luke, it looks like he's going to be caught out as well. He has been shackle shot, telekinesis, everything is being thrown. There's no way he's going to escape. And Benduzam, the disruptor, manages to get the last hit prod. The last prod, which does kill Luke. But Very Super Famous has just instantly ported back in. And it's a risky move. They're all around here. They're all just ready, but they're all quite low on mana, so I guess he is quite safe in the long run.
Well, that was a really nice play by IMBA, actually. They caught them out almost underneath the tower, and they managed to get 3 for 0, which has really, really helped them, because they were starting to get slightly behind on levels, but now they're actually ahead on levels. As you can see, this Windrunner now level 4, slightly ahead of the Gyrocopter, who is still sitting at level 3, and now she can start to snowball ahead and spam those power shots. As soon as she starts spamming power shots, you've really got to feel that Luke's not going to be able to get a lot of farm, because well, she can harass really, really hard with them, especially at the early levels. There's a 200 damage nuke sitting at 9 seconds, and that's only at level 2, so it's pretty insane.
Indeed, and if we look at last hits and denies, Windrunner has got the absolute advantage over double the last hits that Gyrocopter has, and that's not what you want for Gyrocopter. Gyrocopter being very, very farm dependent. He's already got a point and flat cannon, so that's
I've got to
good
call
for
you to
him,
mid.
but he's focused on.
I've really got to call you to mid, because Magnus popped the ulti, but now Brewmaster's popped his in response to the skewer coming back over the top bottom of the tower. It looked like he might actually go for him. He might go for him now. Joker is not leaving. Joker's not leaving. He's going to get stunned. He might actually get taken out. He still both has 2 spirits, but actually he's not going to go for it. He's just going to back off. But trading ultis there, actually, that was really, really weird play by both. I mean, the Magnus managed to get the reverse polarity off and then skewer Brewmaster under the tower. But Brewmaster was also level 6, so he just popped his ulti and just walked away, and it's probably just a little bit of a waste of mana.
Well, it looks like at bottom, Oh My God, Spyro actually tried to save himself there with the disruption, and brilliant play by MAC there. Oh My God, Spyro just saving himself entirely, but Luke is such low health. One good power shot from M&T will land it. It was not. It hit the disruptor instead. And Jakiro, Very Super Famous, getting a nice little ice bath on Infamous. Oh my God, Spyro, though, is not able to save himself again. Very Super Famous is slow. Is he going to be caught out? No, he isn't. He's safe there. And a nice little port away by Luke, just in time. So it was quite close. MAC are being completely controlled down bottom by IMBA Battlenet. This strange way of having a Windrunner as the carry isn't doing a bad job whatsoever. She's already got phase boot. She's not doing bad. She might potentially be a good carry to watch out for.
Well, the Brewmaster also got killed in mid, so Magnus is also getting there. And a nice kinetic field actually manages to catch the Jakiro. Windrunner just sets up for the shackle shot. A nice ice path, but it's not going to save him. A one more right click, there it is. And another kill goes the way of IMBA on this tri-lane. They're already sitting 7-1 up. MAC are really struggling on this tri-lane. It doesn't even look like they want to turn it around. They just want to carry on going the way that it's been going so far, which is a little bit bizarre, but they really can't afford to swap it up now, especially with the amount of farm that Klinks is managing to get on this top lane. Highest farmer in the game, sitting at 37 and 5. Is just going to be looking towards making his Orchid now. He's just doing whatever he can, and we can see the port from Magnus going bottom. Magnus on full mana, going bottom lane, so they might actually be looking for a little bit of a tower dive. He's hanging around on the outskirts. It looks like he might be going around the back to try and do something. They don't know that there's no wards up from MAC, so if he decides to go around the back, they're not going to see him unless he gets in range of this one. I think they actually did manage to catch him very slightly, and he's not going to be able to do anything because they just walk away. Magnus now shows himself, and MAC now know that he's here. But regardless of that, they're actually walking out. I don't think they're feeling the skewer. There's the initiation. In goes Magnus. The big reverse polarity actually manages to catch 2. Nice disruption. Nearly saved the Gyrocopter, but it's not enough. And another 3 for 0 at bottom lane. Really nice play by the Magnus. But the Windrunner, with the shackle shot and the kinetic field, is always so perfectly placed to catch 1 or 2 of them. And they just can't escape from the massive initiation coming in from Magnus.
Well as great play there by him, but that was poor play by MAC. They saw, they did see, they did actually ping the Magnus being there. Luke did point it out to the rest of his team, but they should have backed. They should know that Magnus had traded his ulti only more than 2 minutes ago. Magnus now has a double damage, and Brewmaster is absolutely going to be helpless as he just chases him. He's harassing them down to such low health. He might actually get it, but Primal Split from Brewmaster just to be able to survive. He's actually going to catch out Infamous now, who's not going to have a hope. Is he going to follow him completely? No. The micro isn't being amazing from MAC's Brewmaster, but they does actually manage to get it after blocking yourself off a little bit. And now Joker has been trapped, but the three spirits, they've turned back into the standard Brewmaster, but it's all under control. Baby Step's actually so low on health already. He's been trapped in by his own teammate. That was poor play again by MAC. Joker is actually going to completely survive there.
Oh, that's a little bit sloppy.
It looks like Jakiro has been caught out.
Oh.
Medusa has a perfect connected field, and MNT Windrunner gets the double kill, and she's managed to shackle shot. Brewmaster does not have a hope here. Infamous comes in again. What are MAC doing?
They're just not playing. They're just playing a little bit sloppy at the moment. They're just getting caught out in positions they really shouldn't be in. But this Magnus is really playing exceptionally. IMBA are really playing well. I mean, these kinetic fields are being absolutely perfect. The Windrunner is playing so well with the shackle shots and the power shots coming through. But it's really Joker that's doing it for them at the moment. He's sitting at 4-0-5, and some of his skewers have been absolutely insane. The skewer that we just saw come out from him, catching two of them and thrusting them into the kinetic field and into the ulti from Disruptor, as it looked like they were going to get out of it, and it just completely locked them down. It's just really good play, I think.
Oh, you're absolutely right. He's doing such a good job of keeping them down. And it's one of those picks that you can see why he's banned so often, because he's completely capable. His skewers are always accurate. They're to the level of the legendary enemy instead of just Moon's Windrunner, the power shots. And look, they've just... This skewer is perfect. The disruption, the kinetic field, absolutely perfect. And they're going to get the kill again on Brewmaster. MAC being completely destroyed here by this... Magnus, and you can pin it all down to Joker and these perfect skewers, these perfect shockwaves. What can you do?
Yeah, you really have to say that IMBA have played it so well. They're really good in the picking and banning phase. We've seen it all the time. Their picks are always superb, and they knew that they had the first pick, and they knew that there were three heroes that were just so much better than the rest. Windrunner actually might get caught out a little bit here. The disruption got used on the Jakiro, and they're not going to get her. But there's the oh yeah, they're going to get her now. The Gyrocopter's just chasing her down. It looks like she's going to fall pretty easily. There's the ulti from Gyrocopter. That should be able to get the kill. Here comes the second rocket. Yes, it does. Windrunner actually walked into it. But here comes Joker going through the trees. Reverse polarity. No, he doesn't have to use it, and they kill the Gyrocopter regardless. It's just really nice reactionary play by IMBA. They're not letting anything go. As soon as MAC get a kill, 3 or 4 of them are already on that lane, and they can get a kill or two back, and they just manage to do it every single time. They're in the perfect positions.
They are such a sharp team, and just to see how they manage it, they've got complete domination on towers. Every single lane is going so well for them.
Yeah, you can see how well it's going just by the level of Magnus. Magnus is level 10, nearly level 11 after 11 minutes, and that's absolutely insane. You just hardly ever see that. He's sitting at 5-0-6, and you can see why Magnus is such a big first ban these days, because he is just absolutely insanely powerful, and he's already got his Blink Dagger. He will be picking up his Blink Dagger now if he wants it. I can expect he will be, because that is something that you just almost have to have as a Magnus. Yeah,
well, he's bought it now, there we go, and I cannot wait to see what he does with it. He's already got his reverse polarity. It's just, oh, it's such fantastic play from IMBA Battlenet. It really makes you inspired to see this kind of play. Again, a perfect shockwave. He never misses them, they're always so dead on.
Yeah, it's just really nice play by the entire team. And here comes Rubik round the back, and it looks like they might be going straight onto this Brewmaster. There's a reverse polarity over the top, and there's the Q, the skewer. Wasn't needed, and they managed to get another kill. MNT actually came in, tried to power shot, and maybe nick that, because she does need as much farm as everybody else. But really nice play again, really well coordinated, and they're actually going to catch out. Oh my god, it's Byro. The Blink Dagger is off cooldown, so he can use the skewer. The skewer actually just misses, and because of that, I don't think they're going to be able to get him. The Windrunner hangs around looking for the power shot. There's the power shot, but they just back off as soon as that was popped. And Joker just goes to farm. But really nice play by
Well,
Joker again. You can see it. He's really just skewering into everything he can. He's really just not worried about what this MAC team can do against him.
I just can't believe that skewer has missed. I thought he was of godlike status, but no, I guess everyone is human.
Yeah, even Joker is human, as we've seen, and we can see RR again just doing what RR does every single game. Almost has Orchid up already after 13 minutes, just sat on lane. Orchid and Boots this time, so that's just a ridiculous level of farm for Clink, sitting at 94 last hits after 13 minutes. I don't think I've seen so many last hits in this tournament after such a short amount of time, and that's with the fact that she was against this Darkseer pretty much the entire game. So a really, really nice play by RR to be able to get as much farm as they have.
But we've just seen such levels of coordination. Venduza on Disruptor has never missed a kinetic field, and it pays off so much. Meanwhile, we always have Infamous coming in at the perfect time.
They're just diving. They've gone behind the tower. All four of them have just gone behind the tower. MAC are trying to react. Here comes Luke as well as the rest of the team. Luke puts up the rocket. It's chasing Windrunner, but that rocket's going to die before it even gets to her, I imagine. The shackle shot is really nice on Baby Steps. Here comes Magnus. The really nice kinetic field again. Darkseer tries the wall, but look at that reverse polarity catching two. And the Windrunner power shot takes them both out. Windrunner four-staffs herself into the middle of them. Really nice disruption being used on himself by the Shadow Demon, but Shadow Demon is going to die just to the Infamous, nicking the Ion Shell. Infamous actually gets the triple kill because of the Iron Shell. Now the Brewmaster's trying to chase him down. Brewmaster's back to his normal point. Here comes the shackle shot. We can see it being used just about now. Or maybe not. Yes, there it is. And here's the power shot to take him out. The Magnus actually comes in and steals it in the end. But a 5-0 for IMBA again. And look at the amount of kills they have over MAC at this early stage. 25-4 after 15 minutes.
This is just ridiculous. I mean, obviously MAC have been shaken quite a lot. Their players been sloppy after that first game where they started off so even, but I guess we're a little bit scared by Lone Druid not winning that lane. And it's really showing IMBA just being so well on form.
Yeah, the disruption's been popped on himself, but look at the skewer. It's just going to take him miles away from anybody. He's going to fall. Baby Steps actually comes in with the wall, but the wall's going to do absolutely nothing. It does pretty much no damage at level 1. So the entire IMBA team are just going to walk away from it. But one thing we have to point out is that last big fight where IMBA actually wiped them, they did it 4v5. Clinks wasn't even there. They didn't even need Clinks to be able to do it. It's pretty much just the Magnus on his own.
Oh, definitely. But we have to give massive credit to the Windrunner as well. We have to give credit to Disruptor, almost never missing these kinetic fields. And we have to give credit to Ruby. All of them are playing so beautifully that actually is making up, that precision play is making up for the lack of a team member. And that is how powerful. It's almost machine level of accuracy.
Yeah, it is ridiculous, ridiculous play. I mean, IMBA have shown why they haven't been beaten in this tournament yet, and they're really looking to nail home a really early win against MAC. MAC are going to have to do something pretty special to be able to turn this around, because their supports at the moment are just fresh meat for RR, as RR actually manages to scout a few of them out. Maybe he's just going to dive on the Shadow Demon, maybe not, but he's such a high level, he can really just kill him in 3 or 4 hits. Here comes the kinetic field. There goes RR with the silence, and it looks like they're not going to catch the Shadow Demon actually, because really nice surge by the Darkseer. Rubik comes in as well. Rubik manages to stun 2 or 3 of them. Magnus hanging around on the outside. He doesn't have his reverse polarity, but he has his skewer if he wants to use that blink dagger to get there. There it is. He completely misses, and nothing is going to actually come of that, apart from a very, very hurt Shadow Demon.
Well, it was really nice play there from MOC to be able to escape that so well.
Yeah, they escaped that really, really nicely. It looked like they'd been caught out like pretty heavily, but they did everything they could to get the Shadow Demon out of there, and then just ran away as fast as they could. And Joker just missing the skewer as well actually did help them. So Joker does miss one, but that's not the end of the world for them. I mean, it wasn't exactly a game-breaking engagement.
No, it wasn't indeed. Baby Steps, we have to give him credit. Whenever somebody is in trouble, the second he gets it, he lands the surges, he lands the walls to try and escape him. Sometimes a little bit late on the walls, but he's been doing a really great job of trying to counter this ridiculously strong pick. And MAC have just been counterpicked. This Magnus shouldn't have been let through the pool, but MAC are IMBA are so good at picking. They're going to pick off Roshan now. M&T probably going to pick it up as they've got the more stuff to drop. Unless Magnus feels like dropping away a magic wand.
No, it looks like Klinks is going to be picking it up.
Actually, they're going to leave it for RR.
Yeah, Klinks actually picks up the Aegis, which makes sense. Klinks is the most farmed here in the game, and if they can get him to survive and then use that Q again, he's just going to destroy this team. But one thing I would like to say is that I don't think this Brewmaster pick has really worked out at all. He had such a difficult time against Magnus in mid. There was really nothing he could do. I was really expecting a Templar Assassin, because Templar Assassin is really one of the ones that can help. But they've caught out another good kinetic field, catches the Brewmaster. But the wall from the Darkseer actually manages to take one or two of them out. They actually completely turn it around. Are they going to be able to kill RR before he kills Luke? Luke pops the magic wand. They do. Luke runs away as fast as he possibly can, but the Magnus coming around the back with the haste rune. There's a reverse polarity. Catches two of them. You can imagine that the skewer's coming now. There is the skewer, and look at the damage that he's doing. He now manages to use his Q, catches three. They don't actually get a kill out of it, and IMBA have just got to run away as MAC turn it around. The Brewmaster doing an exceptional amount of work. Will also pick up the Magnus as soon as Magnus is put down, but really nice blink by Magnus, actually manages to get him out. And look at RR, still hanging around, knows he has to shadow walk up, so just stays there, and it just harasses them down as much as possible. He's going to probably be able to kill very super famous if he carries on, but they really want to get this Brewmaster, and they do take him down. So they do actually get some consolidation just because of the Magnus and the Klinks, who've played that exceptionally well.
Well, it was beautiful play by MSC, but I guess they didn't expect Klinks to have that Aegis, and that was what really turned that back around. Klinks coming back up, and just being able to harass it with that much damage. Those searing arrows do so much.
Yeah, they do at pretty much every stage of the game.
As I said at the beginning of the game, it was a bad pick by MSC. I was really hoping that they were picking Brewmaster for a good reason as a main carry and not just as a counter after seeing what IMBA did with that Brewmaster. And unfortunately, they were picking it due to IMBA, and that's just not the way to play. You play to what you're good at, you don't play to what you've seen a team doing well. And it's costly, and look at what it's cost them. It's cost so much. Brewmaster is not the best hero for mid. A Templar Assassin would have done a much better job. If Batrider was banned, Templar Assassin was the next one to go to.
Yeah, almost certainly. You almost have to pick up the Templar Assassin once the other ones are banned, because there's really not many other options for mid. So the Brewmaster I just don't think it's worked. They really should have stuck with what they know, stuck with the most powerful heroes as opposed to who they've seen being played, because Brewmaster really was just a counter pick. They could have done anything with the Brewmaster, and the only reason they ran him in mid was because they were so sure that the Lone Druid was going to be there, and the Lone Druid was there, and he really did have a good time against him. But Templar Assassin would have been so much a better pick, I feel, even though she has had that very slight nerf. She still would have been a much better pick than this Brewmaster, who absolutely did nothing. And another tower falls, and IMBA are just sensing blood now. They're just going to go straight for the racks. I think they really do feel like they can do it. They have the Magnus with the double damage. Not only does he have a double damage, but he has the blink dagger and the ultimate. So as soon as they group up, that Magnus is going to be blinking straight in and taking them out. Nice disruption actually being used as the kinetic field gets popped, so he's going to be able to just walk away from it. Yeah, they're just waiting for the perfect time for this Magnus to engage.
I think you had a bit of a confusion there with the whole Lone Druid thing. I think you're confusing Magnus and Lone Druid, but yeah.
Oh, I meant for the first game. Sorry, I meant for the first game when IMBA picked the Brewmaster.
Yeah, there was a really way played by IMBA at Battlenet, but IMBA are capable of this. They know what they're comfortable with, and that is why now we're going to have DelotA. He's actually done the skewer. He's done the skewer now. He did his reverse polarity, and look how much damage he does. He completely destroys them. MNT not even required there, because Joker is doing so much damage. The GGs have been called, and who can blame them? They're going to take bottom tower now. They're going to probably take the racks. There's no one to stop them. The disconnects have started. Only Brewmaster and Shakira left. They're going to disconnect. They know it's over, and it looks like IMBA are through to the final, to the DelotA 2 January tournament.
Yeah, and IMBA will be the first finalists to the tournament tomorrow. We do have Intel versus BK to see who will join them, but IMBA have really played fantastically well in this tournament, and you can see why they're one of the best amateur teams in their country over in Greece. So really nice play by IMBA Battlenet. They've played this exceptionally well, and I'm glad that we've seen the level of play in both these games from both of these teams that we have. MAC got a little bit of a bad run in the second game, but in that first game they really did have a lot of chances to win, and it's just one of those things. But really nice play by IMBA. They will be going to the final, and yeah.
Yeah, that was absolutely hilarious as well. A little bit of a joke there from Joker, just pouring into their own base and then just skewering them in from behind. Great little play there. But yeah, IMBA Battlenet completely proving their ability. They're going to go straight through to the final, and it's going to be a really strong battle from between enemy intelligence and BK to see who's going to be the final people to face them.
Yeah. This Magnus, as we said earlier, it has just been an absolute insanity in this game. He dominated the early game against the Brewmaster. He really did help them all the way through to well, they didn't even really reach the late game, but what we can call the late game because of this reverse polarity, hitting at least 3 or 4 heroes every single time, and it's just absolutely insane.
Well, he almost never wasted a move. That's the same with Windrunner, and the same with Disruptor. Disruptor didn't even need to pick up anything. He completely always knew where to place down the kinetic fields, and as much credit as we give to Magnus, it's the team play around him that just accelerated